In 334 BC, a 22-year-old Macedonian king crossed into Asia. His name, Alexander. His goal, to conquer the greatest empire on earth. At the time of Alexander's invasion, the Persian Achaemenid Empire controlled vast territory. From the Nile in Egypt to the Indus in the east, it was the wealthiest empire on earth. But beneath its grandeur, it was fracturing. Satraps ruled like kings, revolts broke out in Egypt and Bactria, and Darius III had only recently seized the throne. Alexander moved swiftly, sensing his moment to strike. Alexander's first major test came at the Granicus River. Persian cavalry guarded the high bank. Despite warnings from his generals, he ordered a direct assault. The Macedonians crossed under fire, broke the line, and scattered the enemy. It was a bold start and a clear message to Persia. After Granicus, Alexander marched through western Asia Minor, capturing city after city. Many Greek communities welcomed him as a liberator. He removed Persian-backed tyrants, restored local councils, and claimed to be fighting for Greek freedom. News of Alexander's advance reached King Darius III. He gathered a massive army and moved north, aiming to trap the Macedonians near the narrow plain of Issus. The stage was set for a clash between kings. In 333 BC, Alexander faced Darius's army on the narrow coastal plain of Issus. Using the terrain to his advantage, he struck the Persian center, forcing Darius to flee once more. After Darius fled, Alexander entered the Persian royal camp at Issus. He found tents filled with treasures and the king's family, all untouched and unharmed. In 332 BC, Alexander turned south to the island city of Tyre. Its massive stone walls and sea defenses forced him to build a causeway, a daring engineering feat to reach the city. After 7 months of siege, the causeway allowed Alexander's forces to breach Tyre's walls. The city fell, securing control over the eastern Mediterranean coast. Alexander marched into Egypt, welcomed as a liberator. He was crowned pharaoh and began founding cities, including the future metropolis of Alexandria. In 331 BC, Alexander faced Darius again at Gaugamela. Though outnumbered, superior tactics and boldness gave Alexander a decisive victory. Following Gaugamela, Alexander entered Babylon, one of the ancient world's greatest cities. The gates opened without resistance. Alexander marveled at Babylon's immense wealth and beauty. He allowed local customs to continue and ordered his men to treat the city with respect. Babylon became his new political and logistical base. After Babylon, Alexander marched to Susa, another Persian capital filled with unimaginable riches. He seized enormous stores of gold and royal archives. Yet he preserved the city's administration and temples. Alexander pushed deeper into the Persian heartland. As winter approached, he crossed the Zagros Mountains toward Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of the Achaemenids. Resistance stiffened along the route. Alexander entered Persepolis, the city of kings. The halls of Darius and Xerxes stood silent. After months of occupation, he allowed the palace complex to be burned, symbolizing the end of Persian rule. After the fall of Persepolis, Darius fled east into Bactria, hoping to raise another army. But his remaining governors turned against him. He was betrayed, captured, and mortally wounded before Alexander could reach him. With Darius dead, Alexander declared himself king of Asia. He adopted Persian customs and robes to unify his new subjects, blending Macedonian and Persian traditions. Alexander pressed further east into the unknown lands beyond Persia. His army crossed harsh deserts and high mountain passes, facing new challenges and unfamiliar peoples. In 329 BC, Alexander conquered the harsh regions of Bactria and Sogdiani. Guerrilla warfare and mountain tribes made the campaign difficult, but his forces prevailed. One of Alexander's toughest challenges was the Sogdian Rock, a nearly impregnable fortress atop a steep cliff. After a long siege, his troops scaled the cliffs at night and captured it by surprise. To secure his easternmost conquest, Alexander founded Alexandria Eschate, the farthest Alexandria, in modern-day Tajikistan, establishing a lasting Macedonian presence. In 324 BC, Alexander held a grand mass wedding at Susa, marrying Persian nobility and encouraging his officers to do the same, blending cultures. After years of campaigning, Alexander began planning the return west. His army was weary, but bound by loyalty and ambition to complete their journey home. In 324 BC, Alexander's closest friend and general, Hephaestion, died unexpectedly. His loss deeply affected Alexander and his leadership. In 327 BC, Alexander crossed into the Indian subcontinent. His army faced new challenges, unfamiliar terrain, fierce tribes, and monsoon rains. In 326 BC, Alexander faced King Porus at the Hydaspes River. Despite fierce resistance, his tactics secured a decisive victory and respect for his opponent. After Hydaspes, Alexander's troops faced continuous guerrilla warfare from tribal warriors and harsh jungle terrain, testing their endurance and resolve. Despite victories, Alexander's men grew weary and reluctant to advance further east. At the Hyphasis River, they refused to continue, forcing Alexander to turn back. Reluctantly, Alexander led his army back west, retracing their path through harsh deserts and mountains, facing new challenges on the way home. Back in Babylon, Alexander planned further conquests. But in 323 BC, at just 32 years old, he fell ill and died, leaving an empire without a clear heir. Alexander's empire fractured after his death, but his influence endured. Greek language, ideas, and cities spread from Egypt to India, shaping the ancient world for centuries to come. I spent over 3 hours putting this together to bring you real history in a cinematic way. If you liked it, dropping a like or comment really helps, and I'd seriously appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.